Democrats have been shouting the phrases "rule of law" and "respect our institutions," but some of them forget that when they do not get their way. Take New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, who reacted to a ruling by U.S. District Judge Matthew Kaczmarek to halt the FDA's approval of mifepristone, an abortion drug, until a lawsuit on the medication is decided. When the representative appeared on CNN, she was furious with the decision and advised the administration of President Joe Biden to ignore it. "I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling," the representative said before saying, "Deeply partisan judges have engaged in unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts. The interesting thing when it comes to a ruling is that it relies on enforcement," she said on CNN. "And it is up to the Biden administration to enforce, to choose whether or not to enforce a ruling." And she was not alone, as Oregon Democrat Senator Ron Wyden also advised the administration to ignore the decision. "There is no way this decision has a basis in law. It is instead rooted in conservatives' dangerous and undemocratic takeover of our country's institutions," he said. "No matter what happens in 7 days, I believe the Food and Drug Administration has the authority to ignore this ruling, which is why I'm again calling on President Biden and the FDA to do just that." He said that the FDA, doctors and pharmacies should go about their jobs like nothing has changed and keep mifepristone accessible to women across America. A rogue judge just suspended FDA approval of mifepristone. The extreme MAGA Republican assault on abortion care is spreading across America like a malignant tumor. We must all speak up, show up and stand up until the far-right uprising is peacefully and democratically crushed, House Minority Leader and New York Democrat Representative Hakeem Jeffries said. Democrats will always defend reproductive freedoms from extreme Republicans, including the radical right-wing judge trying to outlaw mifepristone. These personal and serious decisions must be made by women guided by faith and family, not by politicians or activist judges, former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi said. Today, an extreme judge in Texas ruled to ban mifepristone, one of the most common forms of medication abortion. With this politically motivated attack on reproductive freedom, over 64 million Americans, including Michiganders, may effectively be prevented from accessing the drug, Michigan Democrat Gretchen Whitmer said. Not only is mifepristone safe and effective, it's been used by over 5 million people since the FDA approved it over 20 years ago. This decision could have devastating consequences. "But I promise to fight like hell. I'm not backing down," she said. The FDA also was furious with the decision. The FDA has appealed this decision. FDA approved mifeprex more than 20 years ago based on a comprehensive review of the scientific evidence available and determined that it was safe and effective for its indicated use. Medical termination of early pregnancy, the agency said, CNN reported. The approval was based on the best available science and done in accordance with the laws that govern our work. FDA stands behind its determination that mifepristone is safe and effective under its approved conditions of use for medical termination of early pregnancy, and believes patients should have access to FDA-approved medications that FDA has determined to be safe and effective for their intended uses, it said. My administration will fight this ruling. The Department of Justice has already filed an appeal and will seek an immediate stay of the decision. But let's be clear, the only way to stop those who are committed to taking away women's rights and freedoms in every state is to elect a Congress who will pass a law restoring Roe v. Wade, President Joe Biden said. The court's disregard for well-established scientific facts in favor of speculative allegations and ideological assertions will cause harm to our patients and undermines the health of the nation. By rejecting medical facts, the court has intruded into the exam room and has intervened in decisions that belong to patients and physicians, the American Medical Association's Jack Resnick, Jr., MD said.